What's up, everybody? Mark with Apex Academy. Today I'm going to be making a super awesome video here for Neil Bird. Neil Bird asked the comment. He said, "Hey man, love your videos. Massive help to me. I'm setting up my own POD Shopify store." By the way, guys, for those who don't know what POD stands for, it means print on demand. And he says, "I'm setting up my new POD Shopify store, and I'm going through all your content and discovered it just a few days ago. I was just going to ask you to review the Alpha Wolf theme after I saw it. Then thought I would check your videos first, and there it was. And now I'm going to watch. Getting to the right theme, so important. Big thanks." And I told him that I actually would make a video on exactly what he's doing, because I do have experience in the print-on-demand world. You guys know I've owned a clothing company, so let's go ahead and talk about it. For those who don't know what Neil is talking about, by the way, big shout out to Neil for publicly subscribing. Guys, whenever I see that little red button right there, it means that they're publicly subscribed. So shout out to Neil Bird. Thank you for the support, and thank you to everybody else who's also subscribed, even if it's not public. Any kind of thumbs up or comment or subscription or share or anything like that is a huge help to me, and I'm going to keep trying to put out my best content possible and try to help everybody who's watching, all right? So if you guys have questions, what I do is whenever you guys have the questions, I write down the videos of the questions that you guys have, and I tackle one video at a time, all right? So let's go ahead and talk about what he was talking about here, Neil. So I made this video a little while back, April 27th. It was the review of the Alpha Wolf Shopify theme. For those who don't know, there's a website called wolfofshopify.com. I discovered it a few years ago. I even talked about it on my old YouTube channel multiple years back, maybe in 2018. And I've been a customer of theirs for a really long time. And at first, they only had one theme. It was called the Wolf of Shopify theme. Their website looked completely different. They were just a whole different company. And, over time, they would essentially update the Wolf of Shopify theme, which came to be the theme that you guys are watching here now on the right side. This is the one right here. And, it's changed over the years in pricing and format and in the actual theme itself. It's changed, and it's still changing till today. I mean, they've been doing updates. I think the recent update was back a few months ago. So they're constantly working on it, right? Something that I'll say is I didn't expect for them to come out with a new theme, but they did. And this is not new like recently. They came out with this a while back. But like I always do, I always wait and research on the theme, use the theme. I actually literally buy the theme before I talk about it, before I promote it to people, before I, and it obviously has to make sense. Sometimes, I get an affiliate link and things like that. In terms of Wolf of Shopify, I am an affiliate for both of their products, and most of the time I say that. Sometimes I forget it, sometimes I don't. But in general, I think everybody knows that I am an affiliate, because I do try to say it every time. But the Alpha Wolf theme kind of caught my eye, because one of my most important aspects, something that I pay attention to the most when I'm using a Shopify theme, is I look at how professional it is. And the reason why that's important to me is because I've come in from an industry in the world of clothing where I saw the difference of what a Shopify theme could do, specifically what it could do onto your conversion rate. And I'll explain what I mean by that. When I first started my very first clothing company, guys, unlike majority of the YouTubers that you're seeing here, I didn't have the money to pay for ads. I saw people paying, $5 a day, $20 a day, $30 a day. Guys, I paid $47 for my website just to gain access to hosting, and that was too much of an investment for me. I was a college kid. I had absolutely no money, maybe $2,000 saved to my name. More than half of that was in physical product. The other half was, some of it was spent on a camera to shoot the pictures of the photos. Some of that was spent on the packaging of the products. Some of that was spent on software, like the website fees and things like that. So I was really teetering on the edge with my $2,000, and I really, really worked very, very hard to get my first sale. For those who don't know, 20 hours a day, every day, no weekends, for 6 months. Then I finally got my very first sale on the internet. Now, why does that matter, and why is this whole thing relevant to today's video? Well, like I said, I didn't have the money to pay for ads. So when I would get people to my website, now, first of all, it would be very rare that somebody would show up to my website. And the second thing was I had to make use of every single possible visitor that came to my website. Since I wouldn't have like a sea of incoming traffic, I would have to try to figure out, okay, what is my chance? Like, what can I do here to boost the sales on my website? Because traffic is measly, it's very few. And that's kind of where I learned about free traffic, but I really learned more about how to convert people at a higher rate. Instead of driving 1,000 people to my website and getting 1 or 2 customers, I would be okay with driving 100 people to my website but getting 5 or 6 or 10 customers, right? And that was generally my focus. And as time went on and I started making more money, I started realizing something. I started realizing that my profit margins were much higher than my competitors, and I wasn't even advertising. Then when I started to use paid ads, it didn't work at first. And I said, well, why is that? And I realized that the psychology of the consumer is completely different from a ad than it is from a free, like a SEO kind of perspective. Because typically ads are interruptive in nature, but Google search is is a results based in nature, right? So for example, when you search on Google white sports bra, for example, when you search that on Google, what are you going to see that's going to come up? White sports bras. If you click on an organic ranking, you've kind of searched for that. You've kind of clicked on that and searched for it. At the time, I was using Facebook ads only, right? Because I wasn't experienced. I was using Facebook ads only, and I realized that's an interruptive form of marketing. If a consumer sees an ad for it, they're busy scrolling through their timeline, through their feed on Instagram or Facebook. They're not interested in what I have to offer, but I have to come up with an ad that catches their attention. And from there, I started learning about consumer psychology. Now, why do I say all that? Well, the question here on the theme was, he's basically saying he wanted a review of the alpha theme, right? This theme, but he found the video, and he specifically mentioned POD, and that's what I'm making this video. So let's go ahead and draw your attention, guys, to the Alpha Elite 2.0 store that I built here. Something that I like to do is I love to design websites. That's something that I have a passion for. And in my time of, let's say, working online or whatever you want to call it, at-home businesses, whatever you really want to call it, guys, I would design a ton of websites. And I probably in my days with the agency, with everything that I've been doing, if we were realistic, whether it's for clients or for myself or just for fun, might have, I'm going to say, designed maybe over 200 websites. So I've spent a lot of hours in the lab, working hard on the craft. And you guys could see here kind of the results of that, right? The design. And what I realized was the professional look matters. Now let's talk about print on demand. So Neil Bird mentions print on demand. For those who don't know, there are certain apps, like for example, Printful, that you can have a regular T-shirt, imagine guys like a Kirkland or like a Hanes or what's the other brands? Basically, imagine like a plain cotton T-shirt, right? And you slap your design on it, whatever design you want. And typically, it's the design that's just in the front of the chest, like a design like this, like on the front of the chest. Not this camo design, but I'm giving you guys this image for like picturing. Like typically, that's kind of what it is. Now, some companies are getting a little bit better, and you're allowed to put like a little logo on the arm side, sometimes on the back of the neck, things like that, right? So they're kind of, getting better, but overall that's print on demand. And why it's called print on demand is you get to print your own design on simple demand, right? Whenever somebody orders a customer orders a product, that product is shipped out on demand, right? So that's why it's called print on demand. Now, I'm going to talk about print on demand because I actually have one really, really successful print on demand store, but I've started about 6 of them, and the other ones failed. And I'll talk about the reason why. So the first thing with print on demand is part of it is how your website looks, but an even bigger part of it is how you're designing your business. So when I talk about the theme of a business, let's just take our heads out of Shopify for a second. Let's not even think about Wolf of Shopify, Alpha Wolf, any of that kind of stuff, okay? Let's think about the theme of a business. I'm not talking about the Shopify theme, but I'm talking about the vibe that the business gives you, right? When we talk about vibes, guys, we talk about how you feel when you visit a store. That it translates a lot in a business. And for print on demand, it's one of those things where you notice it a lot more. When a website just doesn't look the way it should, okay, consumers notice it. And the reality is as entrepreneurs, we notice it too, and we could see it right away. In fact, when I see an attractive looking website, I say, "Oh wow, that's an attractive looking website," kind of like the website you guys see here right now. Now, the cool thing about print on demand is we can make it look relatively uniform. I've talked about uniformity a lot, and you guys can see here on the website, the images look relatively uniform, right? Like you have a gray background, you have the stance of the model. He's standing like face front, but to the side a little bit on an angle, right? The zoom and the images are mostly the same, okay? And it's about the same uniformity. Same thing with the yoga pants here, right? The back view of the yoga pants with the way the angles of the legs are, right, is relatively the same thing. That's one of the aspects that I call uniformity, and that helps with the professional design. 9 times out of 10, I can't really say 10 times out of 10, but 9 times out of 10, a professional website, whatever theme you're using, right, a professional website is going to do better for print on demand than any other business I've seen. And the reason why I say that, or not any other business, but let me explain what I mean. 9 times out of 10, a professional design basically is better for any business than having a non-professional design. There are very few businesses that you could get away with doing a non-professional look. If you're going to be doing print on demand, you're selling a complete commodity, right? A person could buy a t-shirt from anywhere. Basically, what makes your business special is that design. You have to find a theme that kind of fits your needs, your creative needs. Now, for me, that's going to be a few different themes. I like the Wolf of Shopify theme, the original one. You know, if somebody's on a budget and they need something for $100, this is the play to go, Wolf of Shopify theme. If you're looking to build a long-term brand that's here to stay, I would definitely go with the Alpha. And the reason why I would go with the Alpha is there's less headache. There's more features associated with it. A lot of the times you'll see, people who create Shopify stores, what they'll do is they're going to switch from theme to theme to theme on every launch. Alphalete does that. Now, the reason why they do that, an example of Alphalete or any other company out there, is because the themes that they're using is either A, very, very limited in its features, or they're getting it custom developed. And if they're getting it custom developed, then they don't have features available to them. You guys see here when we click this add section button, and we actually done a live count of how many sections there are, and we've actually seen I think over 60 plus sections. I think I counted it up. I really don't remember, but I know I counted it live for everybody, and there's just so many sections. I mean, you could literally look through here. It's a crazy amount. It's ridiculous. I can't sit here and count through, but as a business, if you're going to do a long-term investment in a Shopify theme, you want to ask yourself, what is going to have my chance of greatest success? Well, as a business, you know that you're going to have to change the look every now and again. And for me, Alpha does that really, really well because of how many features it has. Like I said, this little ad section, they just have so many features, it's crazy, right? And this webpage kind of, shows that off a little. The next thing I would say with POD is, if you guys are familiar, there's these mockups that you could buy online. I don't remember the website off the top of my head. I would actually search for it. Maybe I'll search for it after the end of this video. But there's this place where you could buy these mockups of different models, right? Maybe not like this, definitely not this high quality, but something similar to this where you can kind of take your design and slap it on the picture. That might kind of help you for creating banners and creative attractive looks. But overall, if you're running a print on demand shop, the best piece of advice I would say is focus on the few and not the many. When I say that, I say focus on the few aspects of your business that's going to make you successful. I'll tell you, I can only share what I think is going to be a good idea, and then kind of you could go from there, Neil. All right? So basically, for me personally, with my Shopify store that I have a print-on-demand brand, and I'm actually looking to create another one really soon. I know for me, print-on-demand kind of takes usually like 4 to 5 months for it to actually take off, so I can figure out my niche, get my pixel trained, and all that. For me, I use the Alpha Wolf theme. And the reason why I do is I can very clearly show people the different aspects of the product without it being all the same, if you know what I mean. If I just pull up like a print-on-demand store, you guys are going to see all the t-shirts are like literally the exact same. The only difference is a little design. Well, that gets boring after a while. But the Alpha theme, the Alpha from Wolf, that is, it shows like you can, be a little creative with the design, especially if you're going with something like Printful and you could do designs like on the shoulder or on the back. What I would do is, and this is just ideas that I'm roughing on the top of my head here, I would do like a front view here, or maybe even a back view of the t-shirt if you're doing back designs, and then maybe like a side view here. And what I would have is like the top 10 bestsellers or the top 5 bestsellers, I would have in something like this, like a slider. I would also do like a product tabbed carousel, something like this, where I have different categories. So if it's like a design I know that's strictly for the ladies, I would have a section and I would call it for the ladies. Then I'll have a section for men, and it will be designs for men or designs for younger people. And print on demand is one of those things that there's so many categories you can do designs on. Like, for example, there's designs for, let's say, like if you're doing one of those, like I love Texas, I love Kentucky, I love whatever, you could have different sections. Like you could do states and label that a section. Then all the t-shirts will have, like, for example, I love Texas, I love Kentucky, I love Ohio, I love New York. Then you can have like a cities section. I love Cincinnati. I love Brooklyn. I love, Los Angeles. I love, and so on. Miami, right? And you could get real creative with that kind of thing. And what also is good about this theme, and this is kind of my review specifically for print on demand, is you could do a little like not just segmentation, but tagging. So the cool thing about this theme is if we go over here to I was going to say the catalog button, but there is no catalog. Let's see if it's up here. Let's go to products and maybe select all products, maybe. No, that's not it. Let's go to collections, maybe default collection, maybe. All right, this will serve the purpose. Over here on the left side, you can do different tags, right? And people can kind of segment what kind of tag they want. And they could kind of see like the different options of like different things while they're looking at a whole grid. And sometimes when customers are shopping in print on demand, especially this is what I've seen with my personal store, is if they like the vibe, the branding, right? The theme of that store. And when I say theme, once again, I don't mean necessarily the Shopify theme. I mean like the vibe that you're bringing. You put a little like incentivization, like buy 2 get 1 free, buy 3 get 1 free, anything like that, right? Obviously, it has to work out with your financials, your numbers, but that works really, really well because a lot of the times when consumers come to your store, they have so many options to choose from. They like so many options, they can't even pick which one they want. So what I would do is I would incentivize them. Hey, yeah, get your 4 t-shirts, get your 3 t-shirts, but hey, don't worry, we're going to give you 1 for free. Something like that. That's what I would do also. And it's really simple to set up. All you have to do is make all the t-shirts the exact same price since you're doing print on demand anyway. And then you could just say, buy 3, get 1 free with code whatever. And then you add that discount code. And what happens is you set it up at a certain limit for the sale, right? And what will happen is they'll add 4 products to their cart, and you could set it up 2 ways. You could either have an app, and it will like have this little pop-up that says, now add what product you want for free, or you could set it up with the discount code. They'll take the discount code, they'll go to checkout, they'll add the discount code, and it will cut off one of the prices. So for example, if let's say every t-shirt you have is $40, right? They add 3 to the cart. They're looking at the 4th one that they want. They add it to the cart also. They hit the checkout button. By the way, everything is one-click checkout. So let's say they click add to cart. They pick the size, whatever. One-click checkout. They hit the checkout button. They're getting straight to the checkout page. They add their discount code. They get the $40 taken off. You'll see this in a minute, right, as it loads. And then boom, done, right? Like the next thing I would say is be creative with your newsletters. A lot of the times when you're selling in a print-on-demand atmosphere, your customers, it's typically not the first, like when they buy from you, you're going to have a lot of return customers, meaning you're going to have a lot of customers that buy from you once and then come back for more later on. So what you need to do is you need to have an email marketing setup that after your, like the customer's first sale, like after they complete their first order, after a few days, send them like a massive discount. Say, come get your next order. After you get them locked in for their second order, you pretty much have a customer for life. Any kind of incentivization, some discount, they're going to be ordering from you. You could do it by any means. You could say, hey, check out our new designs, or hey, take our $5 discount, or, hey, we released these new epic designs. We think you'd love them. Check them out. And you could do that with a little simple email newsletter. And the Alpha Wolf theme here from Wolf of Shopify, they have a ton of these newsletters. Like, I got the newsletter banner section. You could have newsletter testimonials. You could have newsletter, like there's a little testimonial section that we actually removed here because I just didn't feel the vibe for this store, but you can add that. You can add so many different things. For example, you have left banner newsletter. Let's just go ahead and see more here. You have newsletter plus testimonials, newsletter text support. You have newsletter, you have just the regular newsletter. I would do the regular newsletter, just leave it at the bottom sometimes. But you would also want to do that pop-up newsletter. You guys know what I'm talking about? That pop-up where you enter your email and all that kind of cool stuff. I would do that too, just as like a safe haven, just, to make sure. You can't go wrong with that. So there's a lot of things that you could do with the Alpha Wolf theme. I know that Neil, you were kind of like inquiring on, maybe should you go with the Alpha theme? I'll tell you this. I personally did go with the Alpha theme for my print-on-demand store. And mind you, my print-on-demand store, I've done it a while ago, and sometimes you got to update the store, the different theme and all that kind of stuff. And for me, with my specific stores, and yes, guys, I got to just be straight up and honest, not everybody's going to have the same conversion rate, but I keep things very simple with my formula of how I do business. I keep people interested. I keep the traffic low in the beginning. I make sure it's organic traffic, then I ramp it up with ads later. On my organic traffic, we're getting at about 10 to 12% conversion rate depending on the month and depending on the offer that we're testing. So I've been testing different offers. I've been testing discount offers. I've been testing product offers. The best offer that I found that worked perfectly for me personally, and honestly, I'm still testing it, but I think that this is going to go down like this, is the ones where it's like buy 3, get 1 free. Because for me, from what I've seen with my specific audience, with the price point that I'm charging, it's more valuable to them. But then again, I'm also charging a little more for my print-on-demand t-shirts. So print-on-demand is not something I've spoken about much. But guys, at the end of the day, I've tested the waters with almost every business out there. And when I say every business, I'm not talking about stocks. I'm not talking about crypto. I'm not talking about any of that stuff. I'm talking about the internet stuff. I'm talking Shopify, e-commerce, WordPress, blog. I'm telling you all of it I've done. And that's how I feel like why at the time when I was running my agency, why it was successful the second time around. I failed the first time. The second time around, way after we sold the clothing company, when I worked on the agency, I had much more experience now. And I was experienced in different areas. If a customer wanted to do SEO, I was able to do that. If a customer wanted to do ads, I was also able to do that. I was kind of, what's the word? Like broad spectrum. I was kind of multifaceted in a way. And print on demand is one of those things, guys, that if you're looking to get into it, you have to pick the right theme that kind of fits your needs and what your branding is. For example, if you're selling like some kind of hardcore bodybuilding print-on-demand site, maybe it might not be ideal for you to be 100% with the professional look, like a clean professional look, kind of like Alpha Wolf, unless maybe that's what you want to do. Once again, you just got to assess what you're looking for, how you kind of want to set it up. And remember, that branding and the vibe and the theme and once again, when I say theme, I'm not necessarily referring to the wolf theme. I'm referring to just the vibe of the store is important. Hence why it's called a theme, right? When you upload a Shopify theme, there's a certain look about it. Now, something that I will say is the one time I did experience higher levels, which by the way was expected, where the actual original wolf theme that's cheaper was higher converting than the alpha wolf theme, was based on the running Facebook ads that I was paying for, how it was working, the SEM part of it. The reason why I say that is because with our ad, we were basically talking about incentivization bias. We were using scarcity. We were using all those tactics, okay? The tactics of, X amount left, go buy now, 30 visitors on the website in the past 2 hours, 14 people have bought this item, all those kind of features, which is built into the wolf. But if you're looking for a more long-standing approach to your store, the alpha wolf is going to be a little bit better because you can't run those kind of ads forever and expect them to always work for you. Now, could they make a lot of money for you? Absolutely, but they're not going to work forever. For example, if you see a YouTube ad and some guy saying, hey, buy this product now, there's only 4 left, if you're interested, you're going to buy that product pretty much. But if you're not interested and you see the ad a second and a third time, you're not going to believe that customer anymore, and all interest is lost at that point. So you got to pay attention to what theme you're going to use. In my case, if you are using the Alpha Wolf theme, you could always shut the feature off here of the X amount left in stock. You can always kind of remove that feature and disable it, and it's easy to do literally within the page settings. So if you go to product pages, let's just go back here. I'll kind of show you how it's set up. Let's go to theme. Is it theme settings? Product details. Yeah, product details. You can uncheck this and the other features, and it'll be good to go. But once again, I just like this feature. I think it works perfect. The sticky add to cart, right? The one-click checkouts, the view cart, the theme is fast. It's very, very fast. You could see here how fast it's working, and there's no load speed or load timers, view collections. I mean, everything works perfect with this theme. So if you're asking my personal recommendation, I do recommend it, but you could take this video as like a review of what to expect with your design, all right? I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys are gonna do POD, print on demand, let me know. I'm actually interested in what kind of business are you running. Are you guys running like fitness businesses and clothing? Are you selling supplements? Are you maybe selling like crayons on Shopify? What are you guys selling? I'm interested to hear. Are you guys selling water bottles? Really, really interested to see. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for watching. Peace out. Bye.